welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Yay, happy Sunday evening. I love going live on Sundays because I feel like most people are back home and I get to actually see the beautiful people and chat with the beautiful people here. So if you are here, if you're just joining, I'm going to go live here in just a second. Grab a drink, settle in, right? I want to talk to you today about something that I don't usually talk about. Hello. Say hi if you are here. I'm so excited. If you see me like looking down and looking up, I'm live on Facebook and I'm live on Instagram at the same time. And I'm trying to be equal in who I look at the same time. I also have notes so I don't get all squirrely. Okay. So if you are watching this right now and you feel like you have done everything and you've done what you're supposed to do, but you're still feeling stuck, I need you to hear me tonight because for years I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one. Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you guys here. Also, somebody's screen name is I Hate Gummy Bears. My favorite candy is gummy bears, but they have to be the Haribos. They can't be anything else. Just had to put that out there, okay? One time my sister told people that she loved pickles and she then got an influx of like gummy pickle things sent to her in the mail. So listen, you don't have to do that. I'm just telling you that my favorite candy is gummy bears. Okay. All right. So for years I thought I was the only one and I literally thought that I was broken. Okay. I thought the problem was me. And tonight I want to tell you a part of my story that I don't usually tell. The part that came before the success, the part where I was so deep in the messy middle that I couldn't even see straight. Okay. And I think that a lot of you are probably going to relate to what I'm going to talk about. Okay. So listen, when I was 14, I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I knew it. ER was my favorite show. Please show me in the comments if you watched ER. Hello, Noah. Hello, George Clooney. Like, oh, I loved that show. I didn't just love it for them. They were just a bonus, right? I loved it. I would come home from gymnastics on Thursday nights. I would make an egg sandwich and I would sit down from 9 to 10 p.m. and I would watch ER. And I loved seeing what was going on in the operating rooms. Like, I knew I wanted to help people. Okay. But when I was 17, I met with my high school guidance counselor and he said, listen, if you want to be a doctor, you're going to need to be good at math. And it doesn't look like that's where you're headed. He told me in that same conversation that I should probably pick a different major. So I did what I think a lot of us would have done, and I believed him. And I went to college for an art degree. Yep. And I hated it. Okay. I somehow, at some point, I almost failed out of my first semester of school. I had a 2.3 GPA because I literally hated what I was doing. But somehow in that next semester, I landed myself in an anatomy class, and it was anatomy of the head and the neck. Okay, like literally from here up, anatomy. And I loved it. I freaking loved it. And eventually, 8 years later, I would graduate with my doctorate in audiology. I became a doctor, right? Crazy. Anyway, I started working in the field. And then I had my first daughter and I went out on maternity leave. And 5 weeks later, I was literally sitting on my sofa and I had just finished feeding my baby and my phone rang and it was my boss. And I was like, oh, he's calling because I'm coming back to work next week. And he's just calling to check in and like confirm and all these things. No, he was calling to tell me that he no longer could pay me. He no longer wanted to pay me what I was making before I went out on maternity leave. And he was cutting my salary by $15,000. Okay. I did everything right. Tell me if you can relate. I did everything right. I mean, everything. I went to school. I got the degree, right? 8 years of student loans and clinical hours and studying and sacrificing, and I became the doctor and I got the job. But the day that happened to me was the day that I began devising a plan to leave that job. Here's what I want you to hear, okay? I didn't leave that day, obviously. I had to go to work. I had to make money. Like that wasn't an option. And I didn't leave the next month, and I didn't leave the next year. I tried things. I tried very many things. I hired coaches that I couldn't afford. I bought courses that I never finished. That's not true. I finished them, but maybe didn't implement all of them. I started things, I stopped things, I rebranded, I pivoted, I questioned literally everything about myself. Tell me in the comments if you have been there. Maybe you're currently there, right? If so, I feel you, I see you. There was debt. Okay, there was a lot of debt. There was real debt. The kind of debt that keeps you up at night, the kind that makes you feel stupid because you're like, I'm an adult. How did I get here, right? Because you're supposed to be smart, right? You're supposed to be educated. You followed the plan. You did what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to figure this out. Be an adult. And then there was the identity crisis. Oh, Lordy, the identity crisis. Because when you've built your whole sense of self around being the educated, capable, responsible one, and then it's not working, who are you? Right? Like, who are you? What happens? I literally spent years searching. Years, not months, years searching for that person. And I think that's the part that nobody talks about. Because on social media, you see all these wins, right? You see the 6 figures, you see the 10K months, the 30K months, you see the freedom that people have built, but you don't see the 7 years before that, where I had no idea what I was doing. And I was too embarrassed to admit that, right? So here's my point. Being educated and hardworking, it doesn't protect you from feeling trapped or lost. It actually kind of makes it worse because you feel like at that point you have no right to want more. But I knew that there was something else for me. Have you ever felt that way? And again, like maybe you're feeling that right now where you are. You're like, I don't exactly know what I'm supposed to do, but I do know that I'm meant for more, right? So I knew that there was something else for me. Maybe you know that for yourself too. Eventually, I found affiliate marketing. And I want to be honest with you because I didn't fully understand what it was at first, but I just started. And right before this time, I was like this close to giving up. I'm not even kidding you. You know those like memes that you see, then it's like, this is how close I was. And it's like a flea on I don't know. Anyway, the point is I was this close to giving up. May 2023, found affiliate marketing. I just started posting here on this profile. You could go all the way back. Don't do it. You'll waste a lot of time, but you could go all the way back to see like my very first post on this account when I started over in May 2023. I had 0 followers. I had no setup. I had no ring light. I had no fancy camera. I had my freaking phone. And I was just a mom who was tired of being behind. And I started sharing what I was learning as I was learning it. 3 weeks in, I made $2.80. $2.80. And I know that sounds like nothing. Please hear me finish this story. I need you to understand what $2.80 meant for me and for everyone else who was watching the journey with me at that time. It meant that what I was doing was real and it worked. Okay. It meant I wasn't crazy for believing that there was another way. So I kept going. And 4 months later, we had hit 100,000 followers and my first 6 figures online. In 4 months, you guys. Then, before the end of the year, we hit multiple 6 figures. Okay, 2 months later, after that, multiple 6 figures. And now here I sit 3 years later, a business that does multiple 6 figures every single year. Why do I tell you that? Because I need you to understand that didn't happen because I'm special. Right? But it's so easy to see the highlight reel online. It's so easy to see that. It happened. I'll tell you why it happened. It happened because I stopped waiting to feel ready. Like there was a perfect time and I was just going for it. And I just started. There was no perfect time. I just literally went for it. So here's the question. Why do smart women stay stuck the longest? And it's taken me years to figure this out, and I want to share it with you because I think it's very important. And maybe it catapults you into action today. And that's my hope. That's my goal. I think smart women stay stuck the longest because we think that the degree should be enough. And it's not. The degrees give you knowledge, yes, but they do not give you the freedom that you're searching for. Gosh, Marianne says, I've been following you forever and I'm so happy for you. I know my time is coming, but I'm overwhelmed with making it work. I've spent thousands. Trust me, Marianne, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, not hundreds of thousands, but I'd spent six figures in coaches and masterminds and in all the things. Like, it's taken me a long time to get here, but I'll tell you why I think that's beautiful at the end, Marianne. And I really love the fact that you've been here since the very beginning, and I very much appreciate that. So, okay, degree's not enough. We've figured that out, okay? Yes, it gives you knowledge, but it doesn't give you the freedom that you're looking for, right? We think working harder is the answer. And honestly, we've been taught that our whole life. So we just keep going and we're like, yeah, work hard, right? It's not the answer. I worked incredibly hard for years inside of someone else's dream. Hard work inside the wrong vehicle will just exhaust you. Okay, we also feel like because we've gotten the education, because we've gotten the degree. Yeah, Emily says a degree is definitely not enough. Not at all. And I'm not saying a degree doesn't mean anything, but it isn't the answer. And also hi. Okay? But when we get a degree, when we get all that education, when we apply ourselves and we work hard, then we feel like we don't have the right to want more. And I am here to tell you that we do. You do. Right? We also become perfectionists in this in this path, in this journey. And we wait until we're sure, until it's perfect, until we have more time, until we have more money, until we have more followers, until we have more confidence. And that day never comes. If you wait eternally for it, it will never come, right? The women that I see winning now are not the most talented. This is the most important thing that you can take away from this. They are not the most talented. They're not the most educated, okay? They're just the ones who have decided to start before they were ready and figure it out along the way. Hey, sister, I see you. Let me say that again. The women who are winning right now are not the most talented. They're not the most educated. They're just the ones who decided to start before they were ready, and they figured it out along the way. Hey, Candace, I see you too. I'm sharing this tonight because I know some of you are sitting exactly where I was. You're smart, you're capable, you're doing everything right, and you still feel stuck. Okay, you still feel like something is missing. And I just want you to know that it is not a flaw, it's actually a signal. So pay attention. Pay attention. You are not too late. You are not too old. You are not too far behind. Okay, you're just at the beginning of a chapter that hasn't been written yet. Start before you're ready, yes. Candace says they're the ones who stopped caring about what everyone else thinks. Yes. And that's what I want for you. I want a second chapter. Okay? So if anything I said tonight hit you, I want you to drop something in the comments. I want you to tell me where you are in this journey, right? Maybe you're just at the beginning. Maybe you didn't even know you were just at the beginning, but then I said something and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to write the second chapter. I want to take the pen back into my own hands. I want to write my own story and not someone else's, right? So if something I said hit you, drop it in the comments. Tell me where you are. Tell me what you're feeling. I read everything. I reply to everyone. If you send me a message, I will probably voice message you back, right? And if you want to know more about how I actually did this, I hope that you stick around. I hope you follow, right? Because I share literally every step of the journey. And that is my goal for you tonight, is to give you the permission to write your own chapter, to write the next chapter. Maybe you've already written 4 or 5. I don't care. Write the 6th one. Here we are. What else do you have to live for? This is your life. If you tuned in tonight, I want to thank you for being here. Candace says, that's the truth and I know it. And she does, right? Thank you for being here. Seriously. Okay. Jamie says, I need a starter for this next chapter. I just need to understand how to start. Listen, I wasn't going to talk about this at all, Jamie, but let me just mention it. I wrote something called Ditch the Niche. Candace says, Gwen just wants you to succeed. Yeah, I do. And this is why I wrote Ditch the Niche, okay? Ditch the Niche. It is all about how you do not need to have a perfect setup. You do not need to have some sort of like sad story, right? You don't need to have a ring light or a camera. You don't need to have any kind of expertise. All you need to have is you and what you've been through. So Ditch the Niche is the exact steps that I took in the very beginning to get out of my own way and to start taking the steps. Imagine yourself at the starting line and you are tying your shoes, okay? This is the setup for how you're going to run your best, or I guess write your best next chapter. So if you don't have Ditch the Niche yet, it's literally $44, but it will be the breakthrough that you need. You can read, I've got testimonial highlights inside my Instagram profile. You can go see what other people are saying, right? Because I know that sometimes like me talking about my own offer, I mean like, yeah, of course I love it. But if you want to hear what other people have said about it, go look at the testimonials or ask me questions, okay? But Ditch the Niche, the link is in my profile, or if you want it, just send me a message and I'll send it to you. Those are the steps that I would recommend you start with. It's the foundation. And when we lay a foundation that is built on concrete, solid ground, rather than quicksand, which is what happens a lot of times, then you can only soar, okay? So if you need that, just let me know. Otherwise, I just want you to succeed. I just want you to know that you have the pen. You have the pen. You get to write your next chapter, okay? Candace, I love you. Thank you so much for being my biggest cheerleader and for being here. Katrina, will you send me a message? I see your comment. Will you send me a message and then I can send it to you, or you can just head to my profile and grab it there. I love you guys so much. I'm super grateful for you. Thank you for being here. Seriously, you being here matters to me. I hate gummy bears. I will still love you even though that's your username. Just send me a message, okay? All right. I love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye. Have a great night.